You ready?
One day we mustn't go dye my hair.
What do you mean tie your hair?
Okay.
You can tie your hair. Does it make a difference?
Yeah.
Hello! We're back! Hello, this is Adriaan.
Hello.
Okay, quiet. So people obviously love what you have to say, and we've had one question, and the one question or suggestion that we've had was that we speak about how I proposed. Now, obviously extremely personal, but I mean people have seen us in our pajamas for the last month, so I guess
Ask me.
both of us. Okay, so I've decided, or I thought that this would be a good idea, you tell me if I'm right. I am going to let Natalie tell the story on her own. Because people are giving me nonsense. Hulle verras my met hulle sê ek praat te veel. So I'm going to let Natalie I'm going to leave. Let Natalie tell the story, and then I'm going to come back when she's done telling the story. Then she's going to leave. Then I'm going to tell my version of the story, and let's see if these stories come together well. Okay? Are you ready?
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yes, I'm sure I want to do
The
that.
stories are completely different.
Probably it's going to be different, but it's going to be interesting to see.
Okay.
Okay, quiet. Let's talk from picking the ring to how I proposed. Okay. And here we go. Natalie, here we go.
Oh gosh.
Sit more to the middle. Okay, I'm going to leave now. You tell the
Okay.
story and you can just say Alfred and I'll come back.
Okay, so where do I start? So okay, I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't know when though. I had an idea. I think a couple of months before the actual engagement, we went out to go and choose the rings. I had an idea in my head, and when it came to, well, then we went to so many different stores, and I just couldn't find something that I really liked. And then it's so weird because eventually when I found something that I liked, it was so different from what I wanted initially, which was so hectic. But when I saw it, it was, yeah, I chopped and I chose, and it was such a merry-go-round, and eventually found something that I really liked. And I when I put it on, I knew that was what I wanted. It was unfortunately way over the budget, but when Alfred saw that I really liked it, he didn't. This was the nice thing about him. He didn't even think twice. And he just said, if that's what she wants, that's what she'll get. Yeah, so obviously I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when. And then one day we were driving. Oh, I remember my car was, I don't know if there was something wrong with my car, or I had to have it serviced or something, but I had to take my car in, and Alfred came to come and fetch me up from work that one day, and I looked so cuck. My hair was so terrible, my nails were terrible. Oh, if I could go back I would redo the whole thing. But it was a normal day, so unexpected. Normal day. He came down and fetched me from work, and we were in the car. I was still working in Sandton at that time. In the car, chatting, laughing as usual. And it was just random conversations. And then we get onto the highway, and we're sitting in back to back to back traffic. Like literally stopped, like not even moving. And then eventually Alfred's like, oh shit, something's wrong with the car at the back. And I'm like, what? And there I like go into complete panic mode. And he gets out of the car, goes to the boot, and he's like, oh shit. And he's like making me panic even more. And because the traffic was standing, like I got out of the car and I was like, what the hell? What's wrong or whatever? And then at that point, he went down on his knee and he proposed like in front of everybody in the traffic, and it was so sweet. And then the traffic started moving, and he's like, "Will you marry me?" And I'm like, I'm in such shock. I just burst out crying, obviously, the norm thing to do. And then, you know, I said yes, and then like the whole crowd, which was like everyone on the highway, like hooted and went crazy and, you know, started clapping, whatever. And then eventually I was like, oh my god, can't believe we have to go now. And then we got into the car and then we drove off. But it was such a, he stopped traffic for me to propose, and it was just the sweetest thing. He found the perfect moment where he caught me completely off guard, and I didn't realize, or well, didn't know, or couldn't have any idea. So yeah, that's my part of our engagement. Anyway, Alfred. He's gonna tell you his version now. Just don't believe anything he says. My version is better.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Did you tell the story? Wait. Okay. So it's now my turn to tell the story. You're gonna stay here?
Yeah. Do you want me to leave?
No, sir. So I must tell what the story was. So we spoke about getting married. I remember that. And it was a plan that we were going to get married next year and all that, right? And then in my mind, when I've got something in my head, it must be done now. And so in my mind, I was like, I can't wait so long. So I started looking for rings without her knowing. But I'll tell you one thing. You think you've got a little bit of money saved up until you walk into a ring shop. And I've never bought a single piece of jewelry in my life. I've only bought a watch maybe. So I walked in there and I was like, yo, this small thing is most lelijke geld. So then I was like looking around, but now it's tricky because I'm trying to find out what she likes, because you can't also just go buy a ring, then the girl don't like the ring and then she's stuck with the ring. You know, it's uncomfortable. So I was like, okay, well, the sensible thing to do is to ask her what she likes. Anyway, so what I did was I said, okay, what do you like? Give me some ideas. And she said words no man wants to hear. She said, I'm not a girl for petite things. Mama soek 'n chunky ring. Hey? And now I've already gone to the shops because I'm thinking, oh, what praat jy van? Jy soek die petite, jy soek chunky. These prices are ugly out here. And you know, you can't just go to American Swiss and buy a ring with a necklace set anymore these days. 12 months to pay. Op die American Swiss card. Anyway, American Swiss is not paying.
Okay.
So then what I did was, I was like, okay, cool. One Sunday, actually I'm jumping a bit ahead. What I then did is I called her sister, Michelle, and I said, call Michelle up. I was at work. I was like, Michelle, Natalie and I have spoken about getting married, because her and her sister are very close. But now Michelle was very excited, screaming on the phone. Sy was middel van die fucking dag by die kantoor. Then I was like, but now I need to know what the protocol is, because her parents are not together and they're staying in Cape Town, and I need to ask Musna, because I'm a farm lady, I must ask the question first. And so she explained to me, okay, what the best things to do. Then I took her mother out, and the crazy story is that I never even met your father. I didn't meet her father yet when I asked to get married to her. So, but I knew her mother really well. So, and we got along like a house on fire. So I took her out for breakfast one day without Natalie knowing, because she came down to visit. And I took her to breakfast, and she said, okay, it's fine by her. And Natalie still gave me cuck because I took her mother out for too long and she had plans, and little did Natalie know I was asking to get married, and I remember her mother laughing about it. She always likes to tell the story. Again, a lot of coincidences is that Natalie's mother's name is Marguerite and my mother's name is Margaret. Crazy. Anyway, long after that, spoke to Michelle. Michelle must have told me. I spoke to the mother. Now we got the blessing. But now I've got like this thing with a ring. So I say, okay, one Sunday, I say, I'm going to come pick you up. They still had lunch. I came to pick you up. I said, let's go and look at rings just for fun, for Sunday. Min weet sy, ek is ernstig oor die ding. Ek kan koop. But we go from ring shop to ring shop, and quickly I start realizing that my budget is not, what is budgeted here is not going to come, is not going to happen. So she looks at the rings. The first ring shop we went into, I won't mention the name, she got the moeren at the auntie there, and someone fucking was angry. And that's not the experience you want someone to have when they are looking at rings.
For me, sorry to budge in, it seemed as though I couldn't afford a certain ring.
Yeah,
and the attitude that she gave me, it was like...
Anyway, but long story short, she then was not so happy about that. We walked out there, then I was like, she didn't feel like doing anything anymore. Then I was like, calm her down a little bit. I said, let's get an ice cream, like at Marcel's, get an ice cream, calm her down. And then I said, let's just go into, not Marcel's, another ice cream shop, let's just go into this shop here. There was this beautiful shop.
Yeah, we went to Haagen-Dazs and the shop was opposite.
Yes, there was a shop and someone's awake. And then what happened was, she walked in and we looked at a couple of options. Now the people at the shop were really charming.
What was that shop's name?
Donatella's.
Was it Donatella's?
It's Donatella's. Okay. They watch. They
Yeah,
still call me every year.
Yeah, they'll see them.
They still call me every year. Anyway,
they were amazing.
Yeah, and they didn't give me. I paid for that ring.
We paid for the amazingness.
Anyway, so they were lovely, and Natalie saw this specific ring and she fell in love with this ring. And I was like, oh fuck. But then she teared up. So I was like, yo. There's a first, like, that's a big reaction. And she saw other rings and she didn't have that reaction. So I was like, we've got to get that ring. And so then and there, I made the deal to get the ring. I put the deposit down to get the ring. But then the idea was that Natalie really cried because she didn't expect me to buy it then and there. Because I was like, I thought we were going to still have to design and make this thing and all this hoopla. Anyway, long story on. Natalie then... now knows that I'm buying the ring, and then I'm going to buy the ring and I tell her that I'm going to then pay the rest of it off, and then next year we get engaged and all that. But in my head, that ring is now burning a hole in my pocket because I'm like, I've got the ring, and she didn't know that I then went to pay for the full ring the very next Monday. I just didn't want her to feel like, I'd saved up and all that. It's been like, I was single for a very long time. So I was sort of prepared for it. Went to buy the ring the next week, full out, and then now the ring's in my pocket. Now I'm thinking, I want to do this grand thing. This thing where you take girls to this fancy weekend away and you ask the questions. I'm thinking of I'm overthinking this romantic way in which I want to ask because I wanted to have a story to tell, and I'm a bit of a romantic, right? And so I'm like, yeah, I'm fussing. And then her car breaks. I remember something with your car.
Yeah, I can't actually remember.
Her car was broken. I was at work. Coincidentally, from work, I'm still thinking and calling places to book a place for the weekend. But on the way from work, I needed to go pick up the ring. Now I've got the ring with me. Then I have to go pick Natalie up because the car's in for a service to go and drop her home. Then on the way, I was like, you know what? Anyone can get a hotel. Anyone can do these things. Let me just stop traffic in the highway. Now, sounds nuts, but I was like, how many people stop traffic? You know what I mean? You hear of these things or you see it on a movie, but no one stops traffic, So I'm nervous as hell. I picked the girl up. I'm in the car. I put the ring in the boot so that it's not on me or falls out, I'm panicking. I pick her up, I'm acting natural.
Did you insure it at the same time?
So before I picked it up, I insured it. It's a phone call almost. Then I picked you up, acted all natural, calm and cool. You didn't pick anything up.
No, not at all. Jesus.
On the way, on the highway, peak traffic. Full. I stop. I say, something's wrong. She goes, what's wrong? She's panicking. I'm like, let me just go look. I walk around. People are hooting now because I'm standing in the middle of the highway. People are hooting behind me. I open the thing. I take the ring out, close the boot. I walk around. I say, you need to get out of the car. She says, what's wrong? Mama's aangetrek because she always dresses up. She gets out. People are hooting, going, but don't. There was a construction, a bucket with construction workers on the side of us. They like looking at like, what the hell am I doing? As I go down on my knee and they see the ring, people go nuts, right? Everyone's going, oh! She then loses it a bit, twirling around. I go on my knee, I ask her to get married. She took a second because she was excited, and I was like, hey, we're in the middle of traffic. She says, yes. Put the ring on, people are hooting. Close the door, I'm very relieved at this point in time. Then we drove off and then we went I took you for dinner.
Yeah, we went to dinner at Design Quarter.
And then we called everyone to say we're engaged. Also, obviously, something I didn't put in, I called my father to tell him way before my father and my brother that I was going to get married, and what they thought, and they love Natalie because she can't do anything wrong with him. And my sister as well, because my sister is like her sister. Because my sister she just has two brothers, and my mother loves Natalie, right? So it was a very easy from that perspective, from a family perspective. Even her father, when we eventually met.
Yeah, I was quite surprised about my dad, because my dad's normally like so like.
They didn't smack any of your exes, man.
And I mean, the first day that you met him was the day that we said, no, we're going to get married. And my dad's like over the moon.
Yeah,
here's the brandy.
Yeah, Branas. And he said that he's worried because he doesn't know me that long. But that Natalie was a big girl.
But he was like...
He came to a comedy show.
I was pleasantly surprised that he
came to a comedy show with us. And from there, me and him, we never had a fight. We were very, very liquor.
Yeah,
He's a cool guy. And apparently the other Owens didn't got a lot of flack. Anyway, so I hope that story, is that the story? I don't know how yours is. I'm glad you got to tell your whole story. So that is our engagement proposal story. And if you watched this video and you enjoyed this video, please click like at the bottom and click subscribe because it helps the algorithm, and then my channel does better. And then if my channel does better, me and Natalie get to come to you more often, and then maybe one day we have more fancy backgrounds and things. Have a good day. Ciao. Do you like that? Do you think people will like it?